So I'm going to bring up my walker. When I was in this class in 801, I started in fall 2019. So I started the semester before the pandemic. So I'm a pandemic learner. We had a panel like this with Dr. Lua, and someone said, take IDT 863 as an elective. And I will say it to you all. Take IDT 863. It's called Instructional Design Theory. I'll put it in the chat as well. If you're not able to, because I know life happens, there's a book which I'll also put in the chat. I don't know. I'll turn off my blur. I don't know why I have it on today. The Instructional Design Knowledge Base. This is the text that's used. It's by Richie, Klein, and Tracy. This book, we're going to get to comps, but if you have this book, if you've taken that class, you will do great in comps. And so I'll put that in the chat. But someone said that in our thing when I took this class, and I'm going to say it to you all, it was definitely a course you should take.
Yeah, I guess for me, I did not, that course didn't work in my sequence, and so beyond the 801. So I'm not going to speak to the electives, but I would take the research residency as soon as you are able. So as soon as you're ready and your advisor says you can take it, I would get into the research residency. Primarily for me, because it is a good introduction into like a mini version of a very structured scholarly paper. And also, looking back in hindsight about how things sort of fit together, and you don't always realize how they're fitting together at the time. But the more reading you do, so like if you pick something in your research design class that is of interest to you, even if that's not going to be your dissertation topic, which for me was not, because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. But those types of projects, those papers, especially in that class, it introduces you to the IRB process, what's involved with that, some of the timing issues with that, and the readings that you do. That is what got me to discover what I wanted to do for a research topic. So for those of you who are struggling with, I don't know what I want to do my dissertation on about, read, and you've got so much, so combine the reading that you need to do in your classes with things that you want to research that are of interest, and it's a good way to discover things that you didn't even know were topics.
And I'll just jump in because sorry.
No, Kristen, go ahead.
The librarian, I always have to point out, especially since Scott just talked about all of the readings that you have to do, start coming up with a system of organizing those readings, especially by term. Like that's how my mental map always organized classes by the year that I took them. And so like by term or by class, however you organize it, start keeping track of those readings, summarizing them. You're going to come back to them during comps. And so if you don't want to read all of them again, having a summary of main takeaways and things like that can be really, really beneficial so that you're not pulling all of that together on top of comps.
I have a few things that maybe I'm not sure if this is the right place to put them, but I'm going to say them here anyways. So the first thing is, I think that the sooner that you can pick your topic for your dissertation, the better. You're going to write several lit reviews, and I kind of knew what I wanted and kind of wrote my lit reviews around that, and then realized that I actually needed to write lit reviews around my theoretical foundations too. So I was able to do kind of my first lit review around one, and then my other ones were around the theoretical foundation pieces, theories that I wanted to use. So that put me in a good footing for when I was ready to write my dissertation. I'd already done a lot of the research that I needed to do for my first couple of chapters. Also is, that was kind of 1 and 2. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is, it's really important. It's this is a very long journey. I think Scott probably went the fastest of all of us, and it took him 4.5, 5 years. It's a very long journey, so it's important to set a healthy schedule and take care of yourself and your mental health and your physical health and all of that, because it's not a race. You're not going to finish it. It's not a master's degree that you're going to knock out in a year or a year and a half or whatever. It takes significant time and energy and planning, and it's a whole family commitment. So taking care of yourself and not burning yourself out will actually help you to finish faster than if you burn through it, burn yourself out, take time off, then it's hard to get started back up again, and then you wish that you wouldn't have burned through it. Take your time. It sounds weird to say enjoy it, but like enjoy it, because you're gonna learn a lot of really great stuff.